Welcome to Rhyl Riddles, a podcast series looking at the many riddles, myths and mysteries of Rhyl. An audio investigation into Rhyl's unusual history. From the weird and wonderful to the spooky and surreal. Join me as we venture back into Rhyl's past. This episode:
Rhyl's animal magic. The seaside town of Rhyl is synonymous with donkeys and seagulls. Donkey rides became popular during the Victorian era as families flocked to the beach for leisure and seaside holidays. From their humble beginnings in the Victorian era to their status as a modern-day attraction, the donkeys of Rhyl had become an iconic symbol of this beloved seaside resort. This tradition declined in the late 90s, and the donkeys of Rhyl were by the end of the century retired. This left the seagulls, or to give them their correct name, well, the correct term for the bird, commonly known as a seagull, is simply gull, as there isn't a specific species of bird called a seagull, and many gull species are found far from the sea. Rhyl's common variety of gull is the herring gull. Now, this is Rhyl Riddles, and anyone who follows my series will know that an episode on the history of donkeys and seagulls, fascinating as that may be, is not what this channel is about. Did you know that Rhyl has, over the years, been the home of many other, more exotic animals? This episode will be an exploration through the deepest flora and fauna of Rhyl's past, revealing a very different seaside, full of surreal and wonderful sights. As Rhyl is a seaside town, let's start with the sea and what was once an amazing attraction for visitors in the 1970s, Rhyl's Dolphinarium. Rhyl Dolphinarium opened in June 1972 and was located next to the Ocean Beach Fun Fair on the West Parade. Rhyl Dolphinarium was the first of a number of dolphinariums constructed and operated by Trust House Forte Leisure. The permanent indoor pool was 15 metres by 7 and 3 metres deep and had also a small holding pool. The dolphins performed under the names Flipper and Blodwin. After the summer season, the dolphins were taken for the winter to Knowsley Safari Park's Dolphinarium. Whilst initially popular, changing public opinions on dolphins in captivity changed, and the cramped conditions increasingly became a concern. Due to this public outcry, the attraction closed its doors at the end of the 1974 summer season. I have not been able to find any footage of Rhyl's Dolphinarium. However, here is footage from a similar attraction at the seaside town of Morecambe in 1966.
But here's another first for Europe, Morecambe Oceanarium, a copy of an idea that's still very much in business on the other side of the Atlantic. They've already slipped into a 3 times a day routine with this Lancashire version of an all-American idea that's livening up seaside entertainment in the Northwest, especially when the dolphins show some of their strange and endearing talents. As if you didn't know, dolphins are actually toothed whales, and there's reason to believe they might be the most intelligent of all the mammals, apart from man. They certainly seem to have a sense of humor and enjoy learning to play such fun and games.
The last dolphinarium in the UK closed on the 8th of March 1993, so for over 30 years no dolphin, whale or porpoise has had to suffer in the UK in the name of entertainment. A similar public outcry befell the once popular attraction of the travelling circus. Rhyl for many years and to this day still has a number of travelling circuses set up their big tops during the summer season. While the modern circus as we know it emerged in the 18th century, the roots of circus-like entertainment can be traced back to ancient times, with performances in ancient Egypt, Rome and other civilizations. Circuses were once known for having many animal acts, including trick riders, elephants, dancing bears and tigers. As animal rights activism grew, some circuses shifted their focus to human performers, including acrobats, tightrope walkers, trapeze artists, and clowns. The modern circuses that still travel across the country today have a mix of such acts combined with more spectacular acts, such as trick motorcyclists, escape artistes providing high-octane thrills to amaze the audience. One of the most famous of the travelling circuses to visit Rhyl many times over the years was the Billy Smart Circus, famous for its large troupe of elephants. On July the 8th, 1970, holiday makers on the Rhyl beach were treated to the amazing sight of a herd of elephants bathing in the sea. The elephants had walked from the nearby Brooksfield Circus site along the main road into Rhyl town centre and then onto the promenade and the beach. What a spectacular sight this must have been for those holiday makers enjoying a day at the seaside. Here is rare colour footage of this wonderful moment in time, Billy Smart's elephants bathing on Rhyl Beach. Other visiting circuses began to take their own animals to Rhyl to bathe in the sea. Bobby Roberts Circus also took their elephants from nearby Towyn to Rhyl to bathe. Here is a very bizarre and unusual photograph of the elephants crossing the Vorrid Bridge, also known locally as the Blue Bridge, on their way to Ryl's seafront. Bobby Roberts was the last of the animal circuses to visit Rhyl and the surrounding area. In 2012, his circus was charged with cruelty to a 58-year-old elephant called Anne.
I'm at the Bobby Roberts Circus. It's one of the last in the UK to use animals in its performance, and it's one of those animals that's propelled this place into the centre of a media storm.
I'm talking about Anne, an elephant whose shocking abuse has been making headlines across the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world-famous Robert Brothers elephant.
Anne is the last of the Bobby Roberts famous performing elephants, who for decades wowed audiences all over the world.
To us, she's never been an animal. She means as much to us as our children do.
Is this a right environment for an elephant?
If you look in her eyes, she's not unhappy. I don't care what anybody says.
But recently, these images of Anne being mistreated by one of the Roberts employees were captured by a camera planted in her living quarters by an animal rights group. The footage shocked the country, but there's a silver lining to the story, as Longleat Safari Park have agreed that Anne can see out the rest of her days with them.
When you saw the footage for the first time?
I couldn't believe it. What was the reason? That's what I want to know. What was the reason?
What's it going to be like for you, Moira, when she leaves?
Heartbreaking. But
Really?
it's heartbreaking, but it's not. Because for 2 years, we've tried to rehome Anne, knowing that she really should be retired somewhere peaceful and quiet now.
Yeah.
And it's taken a horrible, horrible story for people to come forward and offer Anne somewhere to go, something we've been trying to do for the last 2 years. Where has been offered for her to go now is wonderful.
How has it left you feeling, Bobby?
Not at all.
But for Bobby and Moira, that's far from the end of the story. The media storm around them has led to huge crowds picketing the circus.
Why is it you're campaigning here today?
I was obviously shocked by the footage that I saw of Anne.
Obviously, everyone's seen the video on the news. It's been put on Facebook and YouTube.
Bobby Roberts has to accept responsibility for the way that animals are kept. That these animals are meant to be in his care.
And the protests seemed to be working. That night, the big top was almost empty.
The audience last night was next to nothing, absolutely next to nothing. We're in danger of losing our life, our business and our homes.
How long do you think you've got if things continue the way they are without people coming in?
A week at the most.
I've been doing it all my life. I performed since I was 4 years old.
We're proud of our name and always have been, and we've not done anything wrong other than hire an unscrupulous, horrible, horrible person.
The public outcry over animals in captivity grew, and eventually the government decided to do something about this now outdated form of cruel entertainment. In July 2019, the UK government passed a law banning the use of wild animals in travelling circuses in England. Wales followed on the 15th of July, with the Wild Animals and Circuses Wales Bill passing its final stage, with members of the Senedd voting unanimously to implement a ban, in no small part thanks to the more than 4,000 Born Free supporters who had sent messages to the Welsh Government calling for a ban. The ban came into force on the 1st of December 2020. Rhyl is a seaside town in North Wales, situated at the entrance to the Clwyd Valley, which is bordered by mountains and hills, with the majestic Mount Snowdon in the distance. The beautiful countryside of the surrounding area would soon have a competitor vying for its attention, for in 1959 a vast new attraction was built on Ryl's promenade, the Floral Hall. The hall, built by the Hartley Botanic Company, the designer was Vincent Hartley. In 1938 he had patented his original aluminium greenhouse design, which excelled over its Victorian wood and wrought iron forerunner in every way. It truly was an impressive structure. This indoor attraction promised a journey into a tropical paradise. The attraction featured an array of flora and fauna adorning its interior, plants from distant lands, an indoor jungle in Wales. A variety of tropical and foreign birds also found their homes there, enjoying free flight amongst the visitors. The Floral Hall opened on May the 14th, 1959 at a cost of £21,000. It was a popular attraction and had been visited by more than 1 million people in its first 3 years. On June the 8th, 1960, the hall was visited by the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, after which it adopted the royal title, becoming the Royal Floral Hall. Visitors' memories of the Floral Hall. Kevin Bailey, the Floral Hall. It played an early part in developing my lifelong horticultural passion. It was the giant cacti and jungle flora that caught my attention. Pauline Norgrove recalled, I remember the parrots that would be flying all around in there. Dilys Bagnall, who remembers, when the Floral Hall first opened, it was managed by the Henleys, who also ran the roller skating rink. I recall George the parrot. He was very naughty and swore at little old ladies. I remember going to a flower show at the Floral Hall and touching one of Bill Steed's chrysanthemums, and all the petals fell off. I didn't hang around. I still have a key ring bought there, which has a viewer with pictures of my 2 children. Happy, happy days. The Floral Hall was situated next to an older building that was also a once popular visitor attraction, Rhyl's famous outdoor baths. The outdoor baths opened on the 5th of June 1930 with a huge crowd gathered for a dip in the summer sunshine. The pool was 100 metres long and 27 metres wide and contained a full-size triple diving board. The pool was, by modern standards, unique as it was unheated, and the pool contained 775,000 gallons of seawater, which was constantly changed and sterilised at a rate of 95,000 gallons per hour. During the 1930 season, 223,000 people passed through the turnstiles. 50,000 of them were children. On the opening day, the list of main events included the crowning of North Wales beauty queen Miss Leila Whitelock of Rhyl by special guest Miss Mercedes Gleetsy, who was the first woman to swim the English Channel. Seaside beauty contests were a tradition that continued at the outdoor pool. Here is footage of the Miss Wales contest in 1965.
Lights are low, the curtains sway, your ghost still dances in the grey. A glass of wine, a final spin. I close my eyes and let you in. Velvet echoes in the night, whispers soft in silver light. Your memories, a lullaby that plays beneath the moonlit sky.
The outdoor swimming pool was a hugely popular hub of activity for many people, both young and old. But times were changing and more modern attractions were in development. Heated pools, indoor leisure venues would soon take over, and the outdoor pool belonged to a bygone era. The pool could not be developed into a modern attraction. It closed as a swimming pool in 1977 and lay unused for a number of years, until in 1981 it was bizarrely filled with thousands of trout and turned into a fishing pond, becoming a new attraction, the Rhyl Fishing Village. This attraction only lasted a few seasons before it too closed its doors in 1982. The pool then became another sea-themed attraction called Ocean World and had in its pool a number of seals and penguins. Displays were held daily, and the attraction also contained many tropical fish displays. SeaWorld and the Floral Hall joined together under new management. The Floral Hall became the Butterfly Jungle. Here is some rare footage of both attractions in 1987 when Rhyl was featured on the children's television show Wicked.
Yeah, nothing's going to change. I'm not going to take it.
No, nothing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that, look. Oh, and the flowers and everything.
I love it. This is Ralph, our baby Coco toucan. He's 6 weeks old. He's doing well. About to take a fly, I think.
His neck turns round all the way.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
took
no.
the slow. Oh, Rob, come back now. Hey, man. Have you got many babies? No, he's...
Yeah,
we've got a pair of Coco toucans, mum and dad, and Ralph the Prophet, probably the first one ever he's written. First one ever he's written?
Oh! Well, Ralph, I'd like to congratulate you, my main man.
Hey, look, Evelyn, it's you, look! Piranhas are veggies, you know. Can you believe it?
Piranhas aren't veggies.
Hey, what's this? Yeah, banana, right? Look at them, look.
Oh, yeah! Can I tell them?
What a fish!
Weird fish, these days. Weird.
Hey.
I've never seen anything weirder.
They're big and blue and funny, aren't they?
There's a shark. Look, there's a shark.
Is he mad?
You best be careful.
Oh! Come on, get in. Hello, Carl. We come to feed the penguins. So should you just throw them out? Should you just stick them in the... What's the do?
Hello.
Yeah, because...
Oh dear, I've done it wrong already.
Yes.
Oh, look.
Oh, so you just... Yeah, can I do the next one then? A nice clean one. So you grab it.
Oh.
Come on.
What did you do? Why are they hesitating? Is that why?
Yeah. Come on.
So they're not all that
hungry
hungry
then?
then?
Me, are you? Of course you like. Yeah. Okay, I'll eat it myself then.
Maybe that one. Ah.
How about the pelicans? Will they take some of this?
Oh, pelicans.
Yeah,
look at them. Look at them. Woo.
What's this? Woo, woo, woo.
Both attractions continued into the 90s. Unfortunately for the Floral Hall, its initial design of glass panels did not meet new safety measures, and the cost to replace the whole of the structure to meet modern standards was deemed too costly. Both attractions had closed by the beginning of the 90s and lay derelict for a number of years before being demolished. At present, a large paved events arena is situated where both magnificent buildings once stood. A new attraction would soon rise only a few hundred yards along Rhyl's promenade. This attraction would become Rhyl's most popular tourist attraction, the famous Sun Centre. Built in 1980, this new indoor pool attraction would welcome holidaymakers right up to its own demise in 2016. Although the Sun Centre did not contain any live animals, Unless you count its famous elephant and octopus slides, it was a fantastic attraction. The story of the Sun Centre is an episode in itself, one which I will be covering in next month's episode of Rhyl Riddles. As for the original SeaWorld attraction, a new similar purpose-built attraction would soon be built, not far away from the original building. Built by the Sea Life company, Sea Life Centre Rhyl opened in 1992, this attraction featured the first and only walk-through underwater tunnel in Wales. Visitors enjoyed the unique experience of a seabed stroll surrounded by sharks.
The theming's brilliant. It's almost like you're being eaten by a shark. As we enter and go through its stomach, you come out of the deep sea zone, an underwater tunnel full of sharks and rays. North Wales' only underwater tunnel.
The Rhyl Sea Life Centre reopened in 1999 as the Rhyl Sea Aquarium. This redevelopment of the attraction now included a dedicated seal attraction called Seal Cove. This state-of-the-art exhibit gave a fantastic underwater view of seals in their 333-litre pool.
You got number one. Number two. You just jumped in there. There you go. Fabulous. Do this one. Open that one. I think the one's just a bit jiggy. Jiggy. It's okay. You know, you can do that one. Fabulous.
Sadly, this attraction closed its doors in 2023. This time, nature itself had a part in its closure, as it was the ongoing coastal sea defence work that had been going on along Rhyl's coastline. Due to the impact of this work on its animals, the noise, disruptions and vibrations from the coastal defence works had an impact on the welfare of the animals, to the point where, in the interest of their welfare, the company decided to rehome the animals and sadly close. Rhyl Sea Aquarium closed its doors on November 27th. The site was demolished in March 2025. Rhyl's fascinating past of attractions containing wild, exotic and wonderful animals had come to an end. As of this episode, there are no attractions in Rhyl that contain any animals. The visiting circuses are all now animal free. Even the donkeys are no more along Rhyl's golden sands. The one species still left majestic to fly as nature intended and forever link Rhyl to its wild history is our original inhabitants of Rhyl, its famous seagulls.
You have been listening to an episode of Rhyl Riddles, a podcast created, edited and produced by Glenn Mitchell. Join us again for another journey back into Rhyl's past. Subscribe, share the link to this podcast and comment. Let us know what topics you would like covered in the next episode of this series.